Australian Industrial Park. We purposely invite the GM, Mr. Eddie Lim, come today and share with you that part of interesting story. You are the first one. You are the only one who listen in EquitiesTracker, no other people. So a lot of inside information we'd like to share with everyone, but no insider information. At the end of the day, we'll start with the Q&A. This Eddie Lim with us, Eddie Lim. Okay. Young, energetic, future upcoming finance minister. He already sent his resume to Putrajaya already. So Anwar is doing some verification now. Okay, today, don't leave so early. We got lucky draw. So those people who stay back will have the lucky draw to participate. But at the same time, we just got a new budget, mini budget, out of the budget 2023. We got a spatial allocation. We prepare another very special gift. This gift, nothing to do lucky. It depends on your intelligence, how smart you are. During the Q&A, you ask any question. Must be related to NCT, but related to their business. If any of the spokesperson here, the answer is, I don't know, you will win the prize. The prize only one. Rabbit shirt, red in color, both hand printed, good luck, good luck. Go to Genting, stay in Grand Ion Diamond Hotel, owned by NCT Property Group. Put on this shirt, go into casino. All is yours. This rabbit, you can't buy anymore because it's out of stock. We bought all. Now you go to eBay auction, you only can get one. We will move up the price, higher and higher. Okay. This we want to give to the winner. The winner, you force the spokesperson to say, I don't know, you win the prize. If nobody wins this prize, we don't wish, but we may have no choice. We have to give it as a memento to EquitiesTracker's person in charge. Don't give to him, you win it, okay? Promise yourself. Okay, without any further ado, now is a highlight of the show. We invite Mr. Atayat to come to run the presentation before we start Q&A. Atta, come.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, EquitiesTracker, for the invitation to enable us to have this chance to use this platform to share a bit more about our company to those who are familiar and who are not familiar. I think this will be a good chance to refresh again. Okay, so today's presentation will be about, I would say more about how we got here, how we started, and what is more to come. So it will still be a story about growth of the company, and the growth is evidenced by what we have done after taking over since 2019. So I will start with the more dry part first. The figures are normally the most boring part first. I mean, just as a snapshot, an overview, on hand, we still have ongoing GDP of 660 million with unbilled sales of 286 million. So to put it in simpler terms, we have 900 million of revenue that can still be recognized up to 2024. And the average take-up rate for the group is also quite promising. We have achieved 73% of take-up rate. And the bookings on hand are still 171 million. So these bookings are being converted day and night without stop, right? So in terms of revenue, profit from operations and PATAMI, the reason why you see that there's a year-on-year decrease is mainly due to the site condition and also rainy season. Rainy season has caused us to not be able to have so many working days on site. And also the main reason was also partly due to 2021 Q4. We had a lot of recognition of sales, which was brought forward in Q3 due to the MCO back then. However, total equity now stands at around 500 million. Our gearing has gone down significantly to 0.4%. I think last year was around almost 0.6%. So we still have a lot of room that we can utilize. We can utilize this financial capacity to leverage more for our upcoming expansion plans. The net asset value per share is around 43.5 cents now. Okay, so this will be a section more to highlight our key projects, right? Mainly the Genting projects are 𝐵𝑚 Majestic and 𝐵𝑚. The reason why we want to highlight this is because this has been the key contributor to our results since 2021, and it will continue up to 2024. So just a recap, the whole acquisition comprises of two parts. First part being the acquisition of the 𝐵𝑚 Majestic project, which is an ongoing development, 1,885 units of service apartments ongoing on Genting Highlands. And the second part would be on the proposed GID acquisitions, which comprises of completed service apartment units and also commercial area that come with a 7% guaranteed yield for 5 years. So we have already started recognizing this rental yield since June 2021. It will go on until 2025, 2026. So the whole exercise was packaged in settlement of cash, assumption of liabilities, and also issuance of RCOWs. So to put it in simpler terms, why we have this tranching out of the RCOWs issuance is like a deferred payment scheme that will benefit the listed company. Because upon completion of this acquisition, the listed company actually has full control over the assets they are acquired, meaning to say, today, the exercise, once it's completed, I get all the units, I sell it immediately, but I spread it in 4 tranches to pay back the vendor. So, you know, a listed company, if we can sell it fast, you know, we may get the money first before we even pay back to the vendor. And also why we factor in the assumption of liabilities, the debt, because previously this company had very low or virtually zero gearing, was in net cash position. So we made full use of that. So together with the acquisition, we also announced 2 other exercises. First one being a private placement exercise, 223.2 million. This is actually to fund the Genting projects that NCT Alliance acquired back then. During this exercise, we are also very fortunate to have completed everything on time with the support of a few big institutional funds in the country. And together with that, to further strengthen our branding, our direction, to concentrate fully in property development, we also changed the name from Grand Flow Berhad to NCT Alliance Berhad. Okay, so this part is where what I was sharing about just now, what we have done since we took over back in 2019. So since then, a lot has happened. This is our report card. From technology sector, we have changed our core sector to property development together with the change in name as a further move to strengthen our brand name in the industry. Also, we have since been bringing in projects into the company. Since 2019, the joint venture project in Kampar is fully completed now, around 88 million. And 2020, another project that was acquired with GDV of 144 million. And then 2021, which was our most recent exercise of the Genting acquisitions, which boosted the GDV up by another 1.1 billion. Right, so this is how we managed to boost up the company's growth and earnings since 2019. As you can see from here, revenue increased from 69.4 million in 2019 up to 241.4 million. You can see growth in terms of the bottom line as well, from 2.6 million in 2019 up to 5.6, up to 33.7 and 43.2 in the last financial year. So we expect this figure to continue growing. I will share more about that in the coming slides. The shareholders' funds as well, from 99.4 million in 2019 up to almost 500 million in 2022. The market cap as well, in line with, I think, the market's view of our prospect, has also gone up by almost 3 times. Right, so how do we sustain the growth that we are currently experiencing now? Okay, we have a few projects that we are looking and a few projects that are already confirmed in the pipeline. First one being Batu Kawan residential project, service apartment, around 528 units with 300 million of GDV. So this project is actually the balance of land in the company. So what is good about this project is that in terms of a cost point of view, we have already sunk in the land cost quite a number of years ago. So we do not have that kind of burden or holding cost that is going to bring our profits down slight bit. And then also Genting Valley Phase 2 and 3, which is actually a revival project. Also our core business. We are specialists in reviving abandoned projects. Okay, some targeted projects in the pipeline include, residential project in Selangor, 500 million GDV, mixed development in Malacca, around 1 billion, industrial development in Selangor, around 8 billion of GDV. The last one being mixed development in Sabah, around 1 billion. So we are still studying on the feasibility of these projects, and we want to make sure if we do make any announcement on these acquisitions, we will have to add value and benefit all the shareholders. Like what we have done previously, those few exercises, I believe we can all see the growth and potential in there. Okay, so like what 𝙤𝙤𝙀𝙀 mentioned just now, this is our hotel in Grand Ion Development. It is also a project with a Malaysia Book of Record award, being the highest altitude full-fledged service apartment. So if you guys have not stayed there before, please contact me. I'll give you a special rate if you book from me today. Okay, some photos, some side photos. This is Grand Ion Majestic, one of the projects that was acquired by the listed co that I mentioned just now. This project also has 4 Malaysia Book of Records. Firstly, it will overtake the current Grand Ion Development as the highest flat service apartment in Malaysia. We also have the highest and largest banquet hall, highest altitude. We also have a highest glass bottom link bridge. And also there is, I don't know whether we can see it here, there is a glass house, which is something like a glass chapel for people to do registration of marriage and those things. Location-wise, it is just maybe 5 to 10 minutes away from Sky Avenue First World Hotel. It is actually all the way up from the roundabout from Petron, near the mushroom farm back then. So here are some of the photos, right? We will tie up with Wyndham as well for the management or the branding of the residences for Grand Ion Majestic. Wyndham is actually, I think, one of the largest hotel chains in the world with international presence, covering Europe, America, even Asia. Some work progress. Okay, we can see throughout the years, it has gone quite advanced. And this is also one of the reasons why we will have more recognition this year, because the progress has reached an advanced stage. So as long as construction progress keeps going, we will have more and more recognition coming in every quarter. Also, this is boosted by the market outlook in Genting Highlands. We have the theme park that was already fully open last year, and this will only drive the crowd further to Genting. Even our hotel on weekends, we do see occupancy going back to pre-pandemic levels. Weekends normally will be around 80 to 90% of occupancy. So Genting, Malaysia, of course, this is a location that will always be there. Okay, it won't it won't be replaced. So that's why the market outlook there will only be better. You do see a lot of property players starting to mushroom in Genting Highlands, especially in Gotong Jaya area. But I believe our project still has the edge as the location is still on top of the hill. I believe the figures have gone up much more compared to the cutoff date of this data. Right. So this is some highlight from the budget that was presented. This is just for info. The housing credit guarantee scheme increased may benefit certain portion of the industry. Okay, this stamp duty exemption definitely is good news for first-time home buyers. Okay, a snapshot of our ongoing projects. 𝐵𝑚-𝐼𝑛-𝐴-𝐷𝑒𝑐𝑒, which is the key one that I've been mentioning. We have achieved 70% of take-up rate, with the construction progress is at 60%. So we will be able to fully recognize the financial contribution in the coming 2 years. 𝐵𝑚-𝐼𝑛 development, we have achieved 92% take-up rate. It's already completed. So 100% recognition and 100% cash flow collection upon completion of the SPA with respective buyers. 𝐴𝑠𝑠 residents, completion is at 91%, take-up rate around 30%. Mahkota Kampar, completion is 100%. Take-up rate is around 90%. We only have a few shop lot units that are left unsold. Okay, Vortex is one of our so-called industrial developments as well. Four-story commercial and industrial units. I think we only have around 4 units left unsold. Okay, to zoom in more on the figures, we can see that on the quarterly breakdown, the fourth quarter 2021 had higher revenue because of the sort-of recognition in third quarter 2021, which was pushed to fourth quarter 2021 due to the MCO back then. However, this year we achieved quite relatively stable revenue recognition if you look at it in a normalized kind of way. In terms of the profit after tax margin, we have continued to achieve growth from 3.8% in 2019 up to 17.9% in 2022. So how we do this is we try to take up different kinds of projects. You know, we can take up namely revival projects, which have certain cost advantages on these type of projects, and also due to the 𝐵𝑚-𝐼𝑛 Majestic project's contribution. Okay. Moving forward, we do expect that the figure can go up to 20% profit after tax margin. In terms of shareholders' fund, we can see huge growth, like what I mentioned just now. This is due to the current contribution from the Genting projects. Genting projects have been contributing to our growth for this coming 2 years. And also borrowing-wise, even though in 2021 we hit the peak in these 4 years, 2022 we have paid down a significant amount of debt, which allows us to have more flexibility to gear up for future exercises and expansion plans. This is just a summary of our ongoing GDV. Mainly, it's also attributable to the Genting projects. I think almost 70 to 80% from there. So we will keep on pushing and focusing on the completion of these projects together, as well as a conversion. Okay, many people may not may have some questions about what is so special about us. Why are abandoned projects more profitable compared to conventional kind of projects? Maybe I will just share the case study first. A bit of history. Actually, we were a main contractor before venturing into property development. So our so-called maiden development project is actually a revival project. Back in 2013, we were entrusted to go in as a white knight developer to revive back then the country's largest abandoned project located in Salak Tinggi. It was known as Taman Kenanga back then. Around 300 over acres of land. Okay, and it was abandoned for more than 15 years at that point in time. So we were entrusted to go in as a white knight, and in the span of 2 years' time, we managed to hand over all the units to 700 over purchasers. Of course, these purchasers, you can see that some of them have been waiting since the first generation, or even they are the third generation now. You know, throughout this period, without a developer inside, they have still they have been paying the installments to the banks without knowing when they can get houses back. So we were able to do it in 2 years' time, and also we managed to get recognition based on our works. This is actually also a very good CSR on our part. But however, what I would like to share here is the business model. Abandoned projects, first thing is we may be able to have a lower entry cost into all these projects. Maybe I'll explain why. See, normally when we go into an abandoned project, there are a lot of stakeholders inside, mainly purchasers. Those are called unsecured creditors under the scheme of arrangements. So there will be a scheme proposed by us as a White Knight with a scheme manager to come up with a scheme that will allow the purchaser to whether to opt in, to continue with us as a White Knight developer, or to opt out, meaning to say they want to exit. So opt-in scheme normally involves a certain top-up sum that the purchaser needs to pay, because at the point when we take over the site, there may still be certain works that were not completed. For example, infra works. So there will be a certain amount that the purchaser needs to top up for us to complete the works for them. If the purchaser chooses to opt out, it will be more straightforward for them. Whatever that they pay, there will be a certain percentage paid back to them by us. Right? So we have had instances where we have paid $1 to $1 for whatever the previous purchasers have paid. So meaning to say they get back the money that they put in 10 years, 15 years ago. So some purchasers may feel relieved by that. Of course, however, if you choose to opt in, purchasers also enjoy the upside of it, because let's say we bought a unit at 100,000 15 years ago. If you were to top up, let's say 30% for us to complete the works for you and hand over the unit to you, your cost is only 130,000, whereby the market price could be 400, 500,000. So they can straight away benefit from the appreciation in terms of the market value of the property. And for us as a developer, we are able to, our land cost is so-called the compensation sum that we pay to all the purchasers who opt out. We buy from them at the previous price that they paid for the land, and we are also able to sell it at the market price. So the land cost advantage plays a very huge role in reducing our cost. As we all know, the land cost is normally the heaviest cost component in any development. For typical conventional development, it may range from 15 up to 20%. But based on our past experiences in these few abandoned projects, the land cost to GDV ratio is only around 5% of the GDV at most. So this gives us some leeway in terms of being more competitive. Maybe we can have a more competitive selling price. We can have a better specs for purchasers since our land cost has been minimized. Okay, so for this case, right, the development margin itself is 15 to 20%, but it's not the key value that we unlock from this project. Actually, we did sell a huge chunk of land to Paramount Corporation Berhad, 237 acres at 227.4 million. So the price that we managed to sell at that time was actually, I think, 60 to 70% appreciation compared to our costs, and after all our infra works were put in. This is only made possible after we revived the whole area. So meaning to say the land has appreciated in value. This is one of the ways we managed to unlock additional profits and values from abandoned projects. Also, the last part would be on additional land banking opportunities. Because you see, normally when we take over abandoned projects, there may be certain plots of land that are still undeveloped. So maybe you see development consists of 3 phases. Maybe one of the phases has existing structure or building erected on it, but phase 2 and 3 is still empty land, but our entry costs to these 3 phases are still the same. In other words, the same compensation sum paid to them, we can get additional land bank. So this is evidence in our 2.7 acre of undeveloped land, which is now Acacia Residence under the listed company, further giving the GDV up to 143.1 million. Even though here you see the GDV is around 162, plus the land sale, plus this additional project that we managed to build, GDV is around 600 million. The same goes for Genting as well. It was also an abandoned project back then. So from here, we can even see a greater example of how the land cost factor plays such an important role. The 𝐵𝑚𝑒𝑠𝑠 project is actually just beside 𝐵𝑚𝑒𝑠𝑠, just adjacent to 𝐵𝑚𝑒𝑠𝑠 site itself. So our entry cost was for these two projects. So that time our entry cost, including compensation to purchasers, was around 18.5 million. Our GDV for these two Genting projects actually total up to 3 billion. So the land cost to GDV ratio we are talking about here is lesser than 1%. Hence, that's why you see we can achieve high profit margins in our books in these coming few years, right? So the development margin itself is already giving us an edge over conventional kinds of development projects. Okay, so you may ask, how do we do what we do? Is there any barrier of entry to being a revival specialist in reviving abandoned projects? I would say that there is definitely a barrier of entry into being a specialist in this industry. First thing we need to have is we need to have a very technically sound team, right? They need to know how to assess the site from day one. That is key in determining whether the project is feasible for us to revive. We have to study the site, we have to study whether there's any buildings on it, any conditions, what the market is like. Are we able to come up with the right products to maximize our profit margins? And then apart from that, we need to have a very sound team, legally and technically wise, because we have to go through scheme of arrangements, we have to deal with liquidators, scheme managers, sometimes even financier, the banks, the chargy banks that are holding so-called the non-performing loan in terms of the land. Okay, so based on our past two experiences, we have established ourselves. We managed to build up strong rapport with the stakeholders. So on and off, there will be people approaching us and inquire whether we have any interest in taking up all these revival projects or not. So some of the number of abandoned projects in Malaysia, if they are not under the jurisdiction of the housing development, housing ministry, they are under commercial or industrial abandoned projects, we are also able to take up. Right? So the compelling entry cost is what I mentioned just now, which is the most important factor, is the land cost. This already gives us the extra edge over conventional type of developments. In this environment where cost factors are rising, it's important to be able to somehow hedge the risk of the land cost being too expensive. So our background as a contractor also helps to contribute to giving us a few basis points more of cost reduction. So all these factors give us the capability to lower the cost, and which will in turn to better profit margins. Apart from being a specialist in revival, we are also all-rounded. Maybe we don't want to say we are just a specialist in reviving abandoned projects. We are all-rounded because why? Whatever projects, types of projects also we have completed in the past, from residential, commercial, industrial to hospitality. So this actually gives us the advantage to adopt a strategy whereby, when the economy is on a downturn, we can shift our focus to doing revival projects. When the economy is on an upturn, we can still take on conventional types of projects. So this strategy will allow us to have the most optimum mix of projects to maximize the profit margin. Okay, I think that will be all for my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The first part of presentation from Mr. Arthur Yap. While in the process, we are connecting to another laptop for another video presentation. So please allow me to do some advertisement. Okay, the advertisement very interesting. Do you wonder that why today the representative come from NCT, not 2, not 3, must be 4? Somebody say, last time during my young day, I watched the movie F4, also must 4 person. Some say, no, it's not true. 1 year got 4 seasons. So must be spring, summer, autumn, and winter. It's not true. You know, where is the apartment? Genting, why? So when you play mahjong, you need 4 person. That is the main reason. Okay. So what we need to do is, beside these 3 key person, we also have this Mr. Eddie Lim subsequently will share with us about this Kuala Langat Industrial Park. Some of you may learn about modern industrial park. Example, you learn about AME Elite Rig. They have this modern industrial park in this Johor, cater mainly from the Singapore, a lot of manufacturer. Whereas in this part of Kuala Selangor, the company privately owned NCT property, they start off this project. And this project, the whole idea is they will feature a lot on the electrical and electronic. So once it's ready, let me know. This electrical and electronic, we wish that to rewind the foreign direct investment back to Malaysia. With this, it will create more job opportunity. It will create more economic activity. Ready? Okay. I think with this, what we need to do, I definitely not the person who will sing the full song. I just an introducer. May we welcome Mr. Eddie Lim, GM of NCT Property, to lead you through the only exclusive presentation for all of you. Eddie, please.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you so much. All right. First of all, thank you everyone for having us today. Thank you, EquitiesTrackers, to have us, NCT, to be here, and thank you for this morning to have everyone and to listen to what our story is. Right. Okay. Before we start, let's take a look to this NCT Smart Industrial Park. Probably you can pick up the phone and scan and like our pages to get more update in future, right? So this one is Instagram, another one is our Facebook. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. So for information, we are going to launch it in this coming 1 or 2 months time, and we get an overwhelming response. And this project is the first managed industrial park in Selangor, which is initiated by YB Dato' Teng Chang Him. All right, so we will share more info. What is this industrial park? Why is it so special? And what everyone talk about smart and what it is managed industrial park. All right, let's take a look. Okay, all right. So NCT Smart Industrial Park. I can. Sure. Okay, thanks. All right, the first one, NCT Smart Industrial Park, they come with the 3 DNA. We call it forward, variation, and sustainability. Forward, meaning we are the first pioneering in MIP, Managed Industrial Park. Variation, we talk about the first industrial park, which is talk about smart component, AI component, IoT component, and smart security. Last but not least is talk about the sustainability. The last one, which is ESG, how are we going to maintain the environment? All right, so we are Green RA certified in overall industrial. Okay, this is endorsed by the Invest Selangor and support by MITI and MIDA. Right, let's take a look. All right, this is our founder, Dato' Sri Yap Ngan Choi. The company started from 1985 till now is closer to 40 years. To be exactly, it's 38 years. Yeah, just now what our colleague have been shared this about the ATA sharing, the company background. So we just quickly go through. All right, and Dato' Joe, the company founder, and together co-founder with Dato' Sri Yap. With this vision, we call it creating world-class masterpiece in this NCT's overall group of company. We have a project launch in this Selangor and up to Penang, and upcoming will be in Sabah. And today, we'll focus on number 8, which is NCT Smart Industrial Park. Okay, just a quick glance through about the project. Grand Island Element, which is completed in year 2016. Till now, we managed to pass through the MCO until now, which is a 5-star hotel. Second, the Great Penang low-rise development. Third, Voltage Business Park, Mahkota Kampar. Okay, some are ongoing project in Sarawak Tinggi, commercial, residential, and 𝙤𝐼𝑛 Majesty, which is next to the 𝙤𝐼𝑛 𝙫𝙚. NCT Sungai Petani, the commercial hub. 𝐼𝑛 Forte Green City, located in Malacca, which after 𝐼𝑛 Coral Cove, you turn in, there's a golf and country club. We're building this mixed development in the center of the golf course, so surrounding by all the greenery. It is very, very beautiful scenery. And last but not least, 𝐼𝑛 Boliang Garden, which is another white knight development, which consists of 2,000 landed property, which price is only 500,000. It's really worth in this current market. Continue growing in this company, also we given back the value to customer. How? By adding the value to the highest altitude glass bottom link bridge. All these are Malaysia board records. And the highest altitude glass house. So any one of you who would like to do propose or do wedding anniversary, definitely going to be very, very memorable. All right, and third, the highest altitude largest banquet hall. So it's surrounding with the Genting scene when you're having a dinner. All right, the highest curved glass skylift. So now we're going to share with you this NCT Smart Industrial Park with this overall international entrance, with this 220 feet entrance in and up with 66 foot and 80 feet of the widen of this canal stream, all the way 3.5 kilometer. Let's take a look at 𝐿𝐴. All right. So this is coming soon, meaning that it is good time for now. It's early bird stage. Okay. For this, you can see the teaser show that we are the first national park talk about technology, IR 4.0, and MIP, and also the smart component and ESG definitely. Now we take a look to this. The next, we have the 4 pillars to support this industrial park. What it is? First, Selangor's government support at the back end to push on this project. Second, this is a smart component technology industrial park with the telecommunication side of MOU strategic partner with us to design the smart component. Third, managed industrial park. Anyone of you heard about managed industrial park? I believe that most of people talk about 𝐿𝐴-guided, but today I'm going to share with you what is managed industrial park. And we are the first certified by this Invest Selangor. All right. The last but not least, we positioning ourselves as an E&E hub, which is semiconductor, not like just another industrial park in Selangor. All right, so you're going to create a value in return to all the investors, okay, to attract the people for overseas FDI. Okay, there are 6 reasons why to choose us. First, IR 4.0 industrial park. The second, MIP. The third, 5G. The fourth, investment solution center by Invest Selangor, MITI, and MIDA. Fifth, the first ESG-driven industrial park and located in the very strategic location next to the KLIA. Okay, so everyone know about the Biennial Pass in Penang, doing very well, right, the industrial. The same thing also in KL, this is upcoming industrial park which next to the KLIA, right? Everyone can see this is our industrial park next to KLIA. In direct line is only a 4.2 kilometer, but in actual driving distance, is 12 kilometer. All right, if you look at this dotted line, that everyone can see, it's located in this Idris, which between the Sepang and Kuala Langat. Between these, we call it Integrated Development Region in South Selangor, which is government going to rebranding the entire Selangor to attract the FDI coming in. What he considered about it is going to have 40,000 acres of land and total 1 trillion GDP. And we are the only industrial park in this to be benefited to this industrial. Okay, let's take a look. Land CA, we are well connected by having this connected to a project and linked to the Sepang Gold Coast and linked over to the Port Klang, Subang Airport, KLCC, and upcoming KL, which is closer. So I can see that no matter in what industry you are, you will definitely benefited by this strategic location, AC land within an hour. Okay, back to 20 years ago, people all talk about non-gated garden. But today, if they say without gated garden, I believe most of people not there to stay that kind of communities, or probably they might scare when you go back, you need to check the door, everything, right? So now, upcoming one, we are talking about the non-gated garden, gated garden, and today we talk about the MIP. Okay, we shortlisted all these MIP into a 6 component here, which are the gated garden, and also widened route, and also reliable electricity. Have you heard about anything about dual source? I believe that just now everyone come into this building, you notice that this building having a wording called MSC status cyber center. Do you notice that? Well, how does they obtain this category? And what does the benefit of this? Let me share with you about this. We are ongoing pursuing for the cyber center, cyber industrial park, by having a smart grid. What is smart grid? Smart grid meaning we have a 2 power plant, 2 power coming to a project. 1 power fail, another one come in. Meaning that 7/24, 365 days, you don't have any electricity fail in this industrial zone. All right, it is good news to all the manufacturer and production, because they cannot afford to have even a 1 second of the failure of electricity. Otherwise, the goods all have to throw. All right, these are the things. Now, without that, we have the gas, LPG, industrial gas, waste management, and very reliable in terms of 5G. And satellite level quarters, RBS standards. Okay, there you can see recently Top Glove having the issue of deliver the products to the overseas. The reason is the workers not stay in the pleasant human rights area. Okay, so we come with this Euro standard, we call it, this is RBS standard, up to 30,000 pairs. So it's the hassle for people when they set out a factory here, and the workers can stay in the RBS standard for you to export the product to the Europe country. Okay, 5th, we have the management services, investment solution center by InvestNengo, MIDA, and overall shelter service by electric car. Maintenance and emergency response, we have the clinic, we have the fire rescue team over here. Last but not least is the recreation park facility, car park facility. So ESG, everyone talk about ESG nowadays, right? All the companies talk about ESG must list into a 5 years plan. Am I right to say? And we are listed it up clearly. What is E, what is S, and what is G? In terms of this, you can see Green RE certified overall, EV charging, solar, green belt, green water harvesting, waste management, cycling and jogging track, green walking path, LED street lighting. For social, we created job opportunity, more than 50,000. Community engagement through the landscaping and the jogging track. Worker dormitory, RBS center, 30,000. Smart wellness center, which we have clinic. Upskilling center, we train and upskill the people, the workforce, domestic and overseas as well. Smart security system by the Telecom Malaysia, lifestyle working environment. Last but not least, how we control, how we enforce in the legal. So we have the MIP guideline, and we must manage it by this industrial park manager. The difference between gated garden and this MIP is NCT have to manage it even though that we fully sold the entire park. There's a difference between the normal gated garden. Okay, towards the Malaysia 12 plan, this IR 4.0, talk about all this supply chain, IoT, all these things. And we are proud to say we had Microsoft and Huawei invest in our park by providing this data center solution towards this cloud computing, big data analytics, cyber security. And we have all these strategic partners to help you to grow the business into IR 4.0. Semiconductor, E&E, smart logistics transportation, 4IR inspired industry. Now we take a look to the overall 732 acres with a commercial smart security entrance, global center, and all those ready-built products, semi-D, link detached and detached, and also the build-to-suit land for sale or built according to the needs and worker dormitory. So I would say that we are full cycle or ecosystem by having the big factory and also the small factory. Okay, the entrance, the security guard posts to the smart security, and this is global center solution with a clinic and data center. And also this, we can see the 10 solution here, clubhouse facility, and also event hall, customer care department, meaning we are not industrial park, just sell and go. We are here to take care of your business and grow your business towards the gateway to global. Now we take a look at another one. Yeah, this is the one that is a bit special. We have a lowly dedicated parking area and visitor car park. And also upstate, they have a tennis court and futsal. so people can enjoy the kind of environment. So it's a different going to attract more young talents coming to the industrial park to work in the industrial park. Okay, and besides that, all the roofing are solar panel. Okay, it saves energy for you 30 to 50%. And also we provide the worker dormitory. We have the blue collar and white collar. So up to 30,000 pairs. Okay, and also the green canal, they can see the landscaping surrounding. It is so beautiful, don't let you feel like you are in industrial park. Am I right? So you feel like you are entered into the bungalow housing estate. And very important, this is not for beautiful purposes. You also come with the flood prevention. Later I'll share with you how does it work as a flood prevention. And this is a commercial center. This is a one, blue and green force. Today we talk about SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, where this building are achieved in this as well. ESG and Green RE, flood prevention is the topic today as well. You can see that recently, very sad to say, in Kluang and JB and Johor having this issue about flooding issue. So how does we going to avoid this if you buy a few million property in NCT Smart Industrial Park? Let's take a look. Right, we get the numbers from the JPS. In the 2021, the overall flooding level is up to 4.2. So in terms of that, targeted, the rise of the water 100 years were up to 4.8. And due to that reason, we raised our level to 5.1 to overcome the issue of 4.8, meaning our customer, whoever invests in this area, in this 50, 100 years, you can sleep well and earn money well, okay? You don't need to worry whenever raining, okay? And also we actually making the big drainage system, okay? From the normal drainage system, we make it to 27 meters, total 80 kaki, 80 feet. Right, so the water can discharge fast enough. Otherwise the water come in, the rain is heavy, but water nowhere to go. At the end, flow into the factory. That's a fact, right? We have to accept it. The global warming issue is coming very seriously, no matter we like it or not. The green and ESG is a thing must go. Okay, so we're going to share with you a landscape video. Take a look. Alright, so from this video that everyone can see, it is very nice landscaping, and also how we treat the plant and how we treat the canal to have a natural cleaning purposes. Okay, take a look at our resort style side-midi. It's very nice and grand, and detached, and how it opens. When open, you can see the production warehouses all can be into one. And also that we took a look at the link detached. This is a very special product, which is 0.82 acres for one unit itself. So you look at it, it's 27,000 built up. Total, both buy together, you can have a McDonald's drive-through. Okay, how does it work? The first one, 27. Then together, actually, you can combine it into one. All right. So another one, smart space. We talk about the time consuming and everything must combine all together. So we have warehouse, production, office, loading bay, receptionist, everything all into one factory enough. Okay, now we take the last product, build to suit, which is land. So we can having a land, if you think, hey, this is too small for me, I want something big. All right, we have a 5 acres, total 15 acres, or even more. We have 50 acres, 100 acres, depends on your requirement. Now, the overall industrial park, 732 acres. This is a phase 1, 250. And with the commercial, we have the global center, sport facility, ready-built product, and those are land built to suit. And this is a worker dormitory, food court, and surround. So this is the phase 1. These are the phase 2. So we are actually talking to a few customers from China and also Hong Kong, Singapore, talk about that, coming in to invest into the others land, 100 acres, 50 acres, especially now the China market is open. We are actually entertaining the numbers of the China inquiry, especially on coming week as well. Those are doing battery and solar panel manufacturing and doing those EV things, okay? So it's a good thing to NCT Smart Industrial Park. In a nutshell, after I taught so many, okay, the summary is here. We have all these solutions. Green solution, AI smart security solution, and all the commercial and build-to-suit event hall are well ready waiting for you. Okay, very important when we talk about all this smart industrial thing, who are our supporters to this strategic partner? We are the government, investing on 𝐷𝐻𝑖𝑠 and 𝐬𝐷𝑒𝑐𝑡, telecom measure for 5G and 4G, Microsoft and Huawei for data center solution, Knifeling for industrial park manager. LGV Green is talk about this green quarter, green RE and ESG, dark water solution from Singapore listed company, solar waste subminer for the solar panel roofing. And also definitely for other EV and also association, 马中总商会, Fermenca 行总, all right. And also the university talent support in terms of human resource development corporation, Sumber Manusia, all right? And skill forward, train and upskill the workforce. At APU, UCSI, 𝐷𝐻, Utah, Vita, and OUM. Okay, there are some photos here. This is Dr. Sri, Dr. Joe, and YB Tang, Miti, and Maida. Telecom Malaysia told us they are the first time signing MOU strategic partner with the listed, private listed company, all right? And we are proud to be the #1. Microsoft, UOB Bank is our solution provider financially, Samaiden, and also the EV green energy, MBSB Masses, Utah APU, and Green Quarter and Huawei, HRD Corp, Fermenca, and all the banks support us. For your information, currently we can loan up to 190%. Okay, if you want to know more what is 190%, later my team is here. You can actually get to know from them. All right, due to the time consuming, I'll ending with this video. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Okay, thank you everyone for your time to listen to us. Thank you. Welcome to NCT Smart Industrial Park. Thank you.
I'm back again, the advertising guy. Yeah. Okay, what we need to do here is, for today's event, actually we put in a lot of effort. The whole MCT team, we ensure you not only have just a slideshow presentation, the accuracy of the information, we also take time to prepare all this digital video to let you see the visual effect. So you are the most lucky and exclusive one to have this. For the presentation side, don't worry. I think EquitiesTracker team will have WhatsApp to you, or maybe later exchange business card with us and all the management team. We can WhatsApp the presentation side to you, especially for the listed company NCT Alliance Berhad. But whereas for this managed industrial park, you can go to the company, like Facebook, Instagram, and the social media. Constantly, the company update with a lot of new information, a lot of new idea have been implemented or going to implement. Okay, just now someone was asking the question about MIP, Managed Industrial Park. While we're waiting for the Q&A to start, in the past, when we buy the house, what inside the house, our house, what outside the house is not a problem. But today you cannot. Everybody live in the same community. The same thing like the managed industrial park. Outside your industrial park, if people put all the truck and jam out the whole road like you see in the old industrial park, example like 𝐿𝑒𝐷𝑒𝑐𝑒, this is 𝑂𝑛𝑐𝑒 industrial park, there's no way your truck can come in. When the heavy rain came, the drain flood, then you blame the next door overspend. Then the guy say, town council never do a proper planning. All these issues will never ending one. But today, when you come to Kuala Lumpur Industrial Park, not only the hardware problem is well thought, well taken care, and they also try to foresee whether anything created by the weather, example like the flood, anything created by the human, burglary, people steal your product, broken in your factory. All this is well taken care by CCTV. But at the same time, they also got people who want to start a new factory and manufacturing here. They also worry about how about a human resource. Therefore, they tie out with a lot of this university in order to train out the sufficient technician, engineer to fulfill the need for the person who buy or who rent the factory here. That make it a perfect solution. Okay, we need to mention or qualify here this industrial park at this moment is not in the public listed company yet. It's under the privately owned NCT Property Group. In the future, if there's any asset injection, then the company, the listed company, will make the necessary announcement in due course. Okay. Okay, now we come to the time for the Q&A. I just got the message from the kitchen that the lunch delivery will be slightly late a little bit. Therefore, we have quite enough time for Q&A. We welcome everyone to raise a question. Okay, as we promised, winner is only one. Okay, this is the reply. But having said that, inside this bag, we prepare something that for those people who are more hardworking than any other people. Please feel free to raise any question you may have. You can raise a hand, we'll pass the mic to you. And be more relaxed, don't need to be so, so nervous. Okay. Anybody will have, yes, Ken? Later, I will invite a respective spokesperson to answer accordingly.
Yeah, my name is Ken. I know that the NCT Smart City will be, is a future thing. Maybe we just have an idea what would be NCT's Alliance involvement in that area, in this future project. What are the potential spin-off for NCT Alliance? Okay. I know it's not really comments yet, but just looking forward.
You are right. Ken question is asking about what's the possibility of the asset injection from NCT Property Private Group into the listed company NCT Alliance. Chu or Atta, you answer? Chu, please come forward.
I can. Good morning. Okay. At this moment, actually, NCT Alliance not yet involved in the NCT Smart Industrial Park yet. But of course, we never stop. Keep looking and keep exploring the feasibility, how we can acquire this very good piece of asset and make it into the PLC. Because you can see that the project have so much of the the good prospect, okay, and then the earnings is no doubt, and then the whole project, if I'm not mistaken, okay, because it's a private side, I think it's USD 2 billion at least at this moment for all the product and the build-to-suit. So it's too big for the PLC to swallow it all in one go at this moment, you know. So we are exploring the facility with our principal advisor of IB, actually a few IBs, okay. So when the time is right, when we are ready, we have the capacity at the PLC side, as what Jepsing mentioned, the necessary announcement will be made.
The short answer is akan datang, belum datang. Ken, do you mind to pass the mic to other people? Before Ken, can I ask what's your lucky color? Brick blue, right, or
Yellow.
yellow? Okay, yellow biscuit will present to you. Hardworking prize. Yes, please.
With NCT Alliance having such big, ambitious plan, do you think NCT Alliance going for rights issue?
Mr. Chew, about corporate society.
The question go back to all the investors here. Do you guys welcome right issues? I think most of the current investor, they are not so happy about right issue. So also as a PLC, we listen to the investors. Okay, so I don't think that we will have right issue in this year or next, unless it's seriously we give big discount and then you guys welcome it. This is what we can guarantee. Okay, but not at this moment.
The short answer is not yet go to Putrajaya. Maybe one day we're in the Putrajaya. Oh, okay. Yeah, the next one. Yeah, your color is red. I'll give you the red biscuit.
Okay. My name is Chew. I'm quite interested in the industry park, but I want to know if whether we want to invest or this thing, we want to know what is your expected period. Okay, maybe you might a little bit explain what is your planning of the time frame so that investor can know the time frame, because or else we don't know 10 years, 20 years or 3 years return or how. Thank you.
Ideally, will answer it accordingly.
Okay, yeah, thank you for the question. All right, for this NCT Smart Industrial Park, we are going to launch in this March, officially groundbreaking targeted by end of the March. We're planning for March schedule to be announced. And we're looking at the, currently the stages is on land clearing. So the earthwork is going to start by this 1st of April. So we are looking at the completion targeted end of the 2025 for the phase 1, 230 acres. And following by the others pre-seen phases, we have phase 2 and phase 3, which are now 230 and 230. Just how we show there's a U shape, right? So it will be taken in overall about 7-8 years time with a total 8 billion GDV of Brigham Malaysia. Yeah. And the price range, I would say that the price range starts from 4 million up to, for the ready build currently up to 15 million for instance. And for ready build, these are for ready builds, immediate and detached and link detached. For those who build to suit, there are different requirements. They can be from the 5 acres up to 50 acres up to 200 acres that we are negotiating with certain China investor. The price can be up to 200 millions.
Seeing Eddie is on the stage, probably I'll get him to answer the second part of the question. The left part is you wish to buy. The second part is where the money comes from. So maybe ask him to address about 190% financing. How come you buy one free 0.9? Impossible. So how does it come? Please explain to them.
Okay. All right. So I want to give something to my team to answer. All right. For this question is very good, and most of the customers are really attracted by this because they're having a very, I would say that as a low entry to this investment in this industrial park by having an early bird package. First of all, second thing, the bank loan currently provide up to 90%. Let's say your property 4 million, you can loan up to 90%. And another 100%, which are the working capital, meaning that, for example, your property value is 4 million. You can loan another 4 million up for the working cap for you to expand the business or buy machinery or any of the, in terms of the business purposes, but definitely not for investment. You're looking for those people who are in this business, in the industry or in the production, right? So this 190% is how it comes from. 90% to the property value, 100% it depends on turnover again, definitely. All right, it will go into your working capital.
A good example like a paper packaging company, after they borrow the money, they own the factory, they start do some renovation, refurbishment, everything. After that, they say, hey brother, I don't have money to buy raw material. How do I start the business? How do I grow on and continue business? That's where another 4 million working capital coming in for you to buy the raw material and all the necessary accessory product in order to produce the finished product, and then you can start sell your finished paper packaging product to the end customer here. Knowing very well is a E&E, electrical electronic. You may see like example Samsung, you may see the Sharp, you may see all these electrical electronic player there. They will need certain supporting industry. The whole thing is well thought in such a way that not only bring you in, but also help you to stand and start run. There's all this well thought in this program. Okay, the hardworking price, I bring this, I didn't show you actually how many inside, not left many already. Please raise question, after a while there's no more already. Any other participant with a question?
Yeah, Christopher here. I have a question, but I reserve the cookies for the participants, right?
Okay, it's generous. Okay.
All right. Okay, the question is actually, during your presentation slide, you mentioned that one of your core competency to revive the project will be, both a sound team and technical team to know how to revive and assess the project both legally and financially, right? So for the benefit of us, like, can you explain to us like a newbie though, like what are the important process that you went through to pass all the legal projects, and what will be a revive if the land to GDP ratio less than 5%. So what are the criteria that you pick all those abandoned projects? Thank you.
We'll invite Mr. Ataya to answer this question. His question is actually one split into two. First is selection criteria. How do you choose a beautiful girl? He says because the land value to GDP less than 5%, you just jump in. Is any other selection criteria? The second thing is, if you decided to pursue the girl, you decided to pursue the project, how the process from ground zero until you complete the whole thing. I think these are two parts a lot of people wish to know, because for you, not only invest in the stock, you also say that any other abandoned project you can invest and make double gain. Okay, Atta, you.
Thank you. Thank you, Christopher, for the question. I think the first and foremost, the most important criteria would definitely be the location. We just take our Genting project as example. So the location itself actually contributed to our hike in the selling prices over the years. So back when we first launched phase 1, I think we started selling at 700 to 800 per square foot. And the latest phase, we are selling at 1,500 and 1,600 per square foot. So this appreciation in terms of the pricing is only made possible because of the location. We know that Genting is an evergreen location, so that played a very important factor when we decide we were to go in. Just like any other projects, but we just have to go through more processes. Right? For example, how we go into reviving abandoned projects is, first thing we need to engage with the buyers. We work together with a scheme manager. So the scheme manager's job is to come up with a scheme that will benefit everyone, right? You see certain projects, certain lands may still be charged to the bank, but the developer has gone past. The company has been wound up. So of course the bank, they want to get their share back. You need to say, maybe this amount was already written off in their books many years ago. So if someone comes in to revive, okay, someone pays them, the principal is paid back, they can have a write back in their books, you will turn to profit. That's the first step. And then the most important session is for us to engage with previous buyers, because they are the so-called, they are also the victims in this case. So the scheme manager and us, we have to come up with a very fair scheme. In terms of opt-in or opt-in, we cannot charge too high because it is our duty to, give the houses or deliver the properties back to the buyers who have been waiting for so many years. That one, the top-up sum will depend on site condition, how much cost that is going to actually be incurred to make good products that will be eventually passed back to the buyers. So that part requires assessment as well, technical assessment. Second part, the opt-out sum. Opt-out sum also, we have to be fair. We have to be fair to the buyers. There may be certain instances where it may not be dollar to dollar, but the most recent scheme that we did in Batang Kali, we are doing a dollar to dollar repayment back to the buyers, right? So we do feel that the scheme is fair because eventually, once we come up with an agreement on the scheme, a meeting will be called. It's something like your EGM, but we call it court convened meeting. So we need to have 75% in terms of quorum from the purchasers and get a simple majority approval from there in order for the scheme to be voted through. So once the scheme is voted through, the High Court will actually give a sanction. It will sanction the scheme. Then we can start the election process. So that is when the purchasers, they vote to opt in or opt out. If you opt in, you top up a certain amount, and then after a number of, let's say for landed properties, 24 months, you get back your property. By condition, you pay this top up amount to us for us to complete the works. If you opt out, we will pay you within a certain period of time, like maybe upon the closing of the election period, we pay you in 3 months' time, 6 months' time. So once the compensation sum is settled and everything, so basically the purchaser has already disclaimed their rights in the development. So it will be us as the developer and beneficial owner who can start redeveloping and replan the whole development as a brand new project instead. So with this process comes some cost advantage, like what I mentioned. Whatever, if we are paying to the purchasers, if it's dollar to dollar, we are paying the price that they paid 10 years, 15 years ago. So that is where the cost advantage lies. Thank you.
May I allow to improvise a bit what Atta shared with everyone? A good example like this: how you bought 20 years ago about 150,000. Then as a scheme manager, we ask you, do you want to top up another 50,000 to complete the house? You say yes, and your cost will be 150 plus 50, 200,000. But mark to market 20 years today, it could be already appreciated to 400,000 when the house completed 24 months or 36 months later. Or some of them say, enough, I already paid enough past 20 years of progress payment. This 150,000, you pay me back $1 to $1, 15 years ago price. Then they take and they leave. They don't want to join the scheme anymore. So we did, because the cost we pay like 20 years ago, per square foot, only 40 ringgit. Today it's 400 ringgit per square foot. Example, this building is very expensive. With this, the cost saving we have from the land value to the total development value, gross development value, it helped to increase additional profit margin to the company. We hope this will address your understanding first, how the company make money from public listed company, and the second thing, how this scheme help the victim if you have been accidentally bought into abandoned project. You know, abandoned project, why you bought into it? Sometimes we saw the case from grandfather to father, father to the grandchildren, only take delivery to the house. You are talking about first generation buy the house, third generation take the house key. That is too long. So it shows that, I think lately you read the news, the housing minister said there's a lot of abandoned project. Equally, it shows that there's a lot of opportunity. Probably seeing you on stage, I do comment a bit about abandoned project opportunity, good time and bad time.
Okay, I think what 𝙤𝙤𝙫𝙐 mentioned, there are still a lot of abandoned projects that are pending rescue, so-called. So now may be a good time to venture into all these projects because, you know, the market is slowly reopening. If we do get into, let's say, one of the abandoned projects, it may be a good time to relaunch these products, but mainly we should be looking into residential or landed kind of development because based on our current ongoing landed residential project, revival project. We launched phase one around 500 units in March. As of now, we have achieved almost 18 to 90% of take-up rate. So this product is still the right product, and this segment is still right. So maybe if there are opportunities, we would venture into reviving landed residential projects instead.
Seeing Chris, he decided to give up his right to claim his hardworking price. So we back to the audience to claim it. Please raise any question you may have. Marcus? Please feel more relaxed, and the Q&A got warm up now. You can ask any question. Sometimes the question is so simple, the answer I don't know.
Yeah, my name is Marcus. Then I want to ask, is the profit, average profit for this NCT property is above 15%. So is it because of focus on this rehabilitation thing, and also how to achieve this? Then how about the dilution part? Because recently company do a lot of these product placement, and also how to achieve this this EPS problem. Then due to this EGM, it mentioned that they need another 500 million now the gearing 40%. So how to use achieve the 500 million capacity capex in 2026.
Okay, thank you very much, Marcus. Okay, the question will be actually split into three parts. The first part, I will get the CFO, Mr. Edmund Tan, to answer. How could the company achieve 15% profit after tax margin above industry average? The second part is talk about you want to grow a business bigger and bigger. Then you need 500 million. Where's the money come from? How do you achieve a kind of balance in between your debt and equity? So these are the first two questions. We get Mr. Edmund to answer. And the third question always reserved to the strong and stable guy, Mr. Chew, earning per se dilution. Then how? Mr. Edmund, please come forward.
Thank you for the questions. Okay, how do we achieve? I think just now Atta has already mentioned, for the abandoned projects, normally the land cost has been very low. And when we go into Genting projects, the land cost effectively is only about less than 5%, effectively less than 1%. So in that sense, in terms of launching the products, we are able to have a competitive advantage to sell the products at a much lower price compared to our competitors. So in that sense, we actually clock in a huge margin for the company, NCT Alliance in this case. Okay, so this is one of our strategies to maintain the kind of profit margins. Likewise, for the future, moving forward, we are actually looking at other developments, for example, industrial development as well. That industrial development, we can is a high value item, and in terms of the returns, we are actually looking at 20-30% kind of returns. So it will actually in line with our strategies to maintain the kind of profit margin going forwards. So second questions, I think
capital structure, debt to equity.
Yes. So likewise, when we looking at the new products, we always looking at the income generating from the products to the group, to us. So we always feel that this is a right product for us to go in, and it will contribute a positive income to the group. And we will try to inject into the company. Of course, by injecting into the company, there are two ways of raising funds for the injections. One is by way of debt financing. Another one is by way of equity financing. But of course, if we look at the products, if actually a right product for the company, of course, the shareholder will be very comfortable to willing to take money out and inject to the company, and for us to buy the projects. And later on, when we have a positive selling selling percentage, then we can collect money and repay back the financing, as well as reward back the shareholders. So that way of financing is it become a cycle. Basically, we borrow from the debt, we borrow from the shareholder, and we pay back the shareholder, and we pay back the debt. So this is a cycle to make sure the group actually expanding. And I believe all these products, it will be a positive, it will be very positive for the shareholders. So it's not really much concern whether we raise capital from the shareholders or raise capital from the debt market side. There's always a balance where we want to consider whether to raise finance from these two aspects.
Yeah, Eamon give a very good answer that when you have $1, you want to do $2 business, the first dollar will come from shareholder equity, second dollar will become from bank financing called debt. It means that in your house, sometimes you need two cars, one EV car and one petrol car. What happened to no electricity? At least your petrol car can run. What happened? Petrol run out, at least EV car can run. That's the balancing the company always try to do. Whichever way it is, you make sure the business is able to sell the product, able to generate the cash flow. So sometimes we cannot be over-skilled to one side, that become very extreme. When you're very extreme, you make maximum gain, you also may suffer maximum loss. Okay, we have another question. Mr. Chew, you have to come aboard, explain. So many shares have been this and earning per share dilution. Okay. I will move the slide for you.
Okay. Just now, I think we already explored the question like, whether when we do the acquisition, okay, either we go into the debt or we go into the equity. When we go to the equity financing, we already know that, right? Issue, a lot of people say no. You see? So we have no choice but to do some private placement. Okay. But in year 2021, that we can see what we saw was the enlarged share cap, I think it enlarged, I think almost like 70%. Okay. But our earnings went up to 500%. So it's already naturally offset the dilution part already. But in year 2022 last year, what we see here is from almost like 900 go up to 1.15. It's almost like 20% increase. Okay. But how much is our increase in our bottom line? It's 28%. This is what we can show that is the management actually is monitoring it. Okay. And then when we design the acquisition, like what we did in the year 2021, like what Atta mentioned, we are not paying everything in one off. Actually, we issue 𝑂𝑛𝑐𝑒, which is paying the vendor, in stage, I think from year 2021 until 2024. So all these are well designed to make sure that the earning per share dilution is managed. This is what we are doing. And then that's why we can guarantee that even though in the future acquisition that we are exploring now, we will well design it and make sure that it's earning accretive, and then also make sure that all the earning per share dilution is in manageable. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Marcus, you green, I will give you green biscuit. Like the green heart, you grow bigger. You have the question, Robert, please go ahead.
Okay. So I realize, so some property is under private call, some is under PLC. So the company, how to resolve this issue to confusing investor?
Mr. Atta, who represent the family member, he's obliged to answer whether the money belong to the grandfather or belong to the grandson. Okay, come.
Okay, we do get this question quite a lot, right? Why you have projects on the private side? Why you have projects under a listed co? Are you guys purposely doing this to make one round, another round of money from the company itself? Actually, we would like to clarify, because we only took over this listed company back in 2019, right? So a lot of the private projects that are currently ongoing had already started before that, the groundwork and everything. Even the first phase of the revival project, Batang Kali, we started negotiating with the scheme manager, Jesus, before 2019. The industrial park land also, it was bought before 2019. So it is not, our intention to do that. But however, moving forward, we also want to make it clear that any new projects will be directly undertaken by the listed co directly. Like what I mentioned just now, under the listed co, there is another 2 phases of the abandoned project. Actually, in totality, it's all one big abandoned project. We do not intentionally split into 2 parts. It's just that the first part was already launched, started way before we took over this company, right? Only the second part, I think we confirmed the appointment as White Knight 2021, then it is parked directly under the listed company. And furthermore, if you look at our profit track record, even though we did some related party transactions, but then eventually we can see that, there's still growth in the earnings per share. And even the scheme is structured in such a way that, it will not be detrimental to the value of the share, like even the deferred payment scheme, like Mr. Chiu mentioned. So, I mean, these kind of deals actually benefit the public listed company more than the vendors themselves. So in future exercises, we will use this as a benchmark to design it accordingly. Like for instance, the Genting acquisition back in 2021. Can you show the?
You go ahead explain.
Yeah, so upon completion of the Genting acquisition, you can straight away see that it is immediate recognition in terms of profit, right? So this is what we call, okay, you can see that there's straight away a huge jump in terms of the profit and revenue because this project is already ongoing and it is readily contributing revenue and profit. So for future schemes, future exercises, we want to achieve the same effect as well. So this will be our answer to your question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Robert. This is a biscuit for you. We would like to say that sometimes in life you need to move fast. When the money on the table, please take it. When the gold drop from the sky, please pick it up. There's no more prize already. So we need to say that. So the first hardworking guy we need to reward. Before we move to the lucky draw, because we need to juggle about the arrival, the lunch box from ground floor come up here, and in between the lucky draw time. There's 2 things we need your help. The first thing, later, if you need your permission, and we hope we can take a group photo together as a good memorial. And the second thing is, I think we prepare enough lucky draw for everyone. But lucky draw is really by luck, not by substance. Just like by substance. They ask, so they get the prize. But until today, there's no winner for the prize. So, but anyway, we won't bring back. We would like to, before lucky draw, invite Mr. Atayap to give to Mr. Ng a memento. It's this shirt. The luck belong to him. Come, please take a photo. Equity, take a paper. Please take a photo. You want to take a photo for the memorial purpose? Yes. See. Yeah, it's for his effort to help us.